Hello, all. Welcome back once again to Simplified Parenting with Emotionally Healthy Child podcast show. And I'm your host, Suhasni from Mommy's Show Musings. Recently, in my WhatsApp parenting community, one parent asked me this question: how many ever times I try to talk to my teenager, the maximum response I get is either a shrug or a single word answer like, yeah, no, and that parent was in fact asking me to help her with some conversation starters so that she can spend some quality time with her teenager son, who either keeps himself locked in his room all the time or spends whole day outside playing football with his friends. It seems he's not at all interested in attending any family events or functions, and even if he attends, he'll just sit down there with his iPad. So, my dear friends, if you ever felt like your teen is speaking a different language or not at all speaking to you, then this episode is also for you, along with that mother who had already reached out to me. By end of this episode, you will have a treasure chest of fun, creative, and effective conversation starters that you can transform your connection with your son. So, come on, let's dive into the episode. Let's be honest. Asking your teen, how was your day, is just like flipping a coin. You either get a one word answer or a shrug. Why? Because teens don't want to be interrogated. Period. They see all these generic questions are so boring. In fact, even we were in the same state when we were teenagers. So, here is one thing, my dear friends. A great conversation starter shows your teen that you're genuinely curious about them, their thoughts, their dreams, and their fancies. Don't you all remember one of those aunts or uncles to whom you feel like going and talking as a teenager? So, in nowadays in this global village, we don't have those caring and concerned aunts helping our teens. So, we only have to wear that hat of caring, mentoring aunt or uncle along with the father's role. So, how to do that? That is why this episode is giving you those ideas about different conversation starters that you can use it with your teen, so that you can start having a real conversation, seriously, a real conversation with your teens, so that you can start building the bridges and start having a solid connection with your teens. So let us start with everyday life and school. To initiate a conversation while driving your teen back from the school, or while they're having a snack after returning back from the school, you can try asking these questions like, what's something funny that happened at school today? Typically they'll start initially saying, no, nothing. Oh, okay, I thought somebody has teased you, somebody bullied you, somebody did this to you. So you have to extend that conversation. Alternatively, you can even ask, if you could change one rule at school, what would that be? Definitely, you'll get some answer there. Which teacher would make a great movie character from the recent movies, and why? In fact, a mom from the same WhatsApp community has tried asking her son, if your math teacher were a superhero, what would their power be? And that son laughed and said super speed grading, and he invented a new superhero. And that one question led to a 15-minute chat about his classes. Remember, my dear friends, teens light up when you show real interest in their passions and discuss with them. So, here are some questions to ask them about their passions, current hobbies, and everything. What's a new skill you would love to learn if time and money weren't an issue? If you could design a video game, what would that storyline be? What's your favorite song or playlist right now? Can I hear it? Can we both do a quick dance? 1 minute dance for that favorite song? Something like this will definitely light up your child's face. In fact, my colleague just discovered his daughter's love for writing poetry by asking, if you write a book about yourself, what would that be about? Immediately, that daughter said she'll write a poem about herself. And that single question made her feel appreciated about her poetry skills, and she started showing all the poems that she had written from the last 1 year to her father. Isn't it a nice discovery made by that father? Sometimes some of the best conversations are the most silliest conversations that can happen. Try these a couple of these conversation starters for your laughs. If you could live inside any movie or a TV show, which one would that be? If you want to act in any of the recent movies, which movie will you pick up and which role will you pick up? If animals could talk, which one would you want to be your best friend? What will be the superpower that you want to have it immediately now, right now, if there is some magic wand in my hand? These kind of fun questions break the ice and keep things light. A dad told me that he asked his son, if pizza were a superpower, what would that be? And then finally, after a long discussion and fun discussion, both dad and son had come up with a full comic book which they gave it to their youngest son. Isn't it wonderful? And this teenage son took it on himself to design a new comic book for his sibling using Canva. What a proud moment that is for both son and the dad, and equally and loving gesture from the younger siblings' viewpoint, isn't it? When your teen seems to be open minded and he's willing to have long conversations or serious conversations, you can actually ask them some serious questions like, what's something you learned today about yourself recently? What is one thing you think adults don't understand about your generation? What's been the most challenging part of growing up so far? What do you want me to do differently to you? These questions encourage your teen to reflect and share their emotions. Generally, these kind of conversations happen either during long drives or during long walks and treks. In fact, when I was asking one of these questions to my own teenager, he told that he really didn't start talking about different boundaries which parents should keep along with him and all that stuff. And in the conversation, it came out that his granny keeps entering into his room without knocking the door, which he felt that she's violating his own private space. Interesting viewpoint, which I never thought so far till now. So, these are all some of the conversation starters, my dear friends. Now you have a toolkit, isn't it? You can improvise on this toolkit and share with me what worked best for you or what didn't work. And but one couple of points which I want to really stress and re-stress again is that all these conversation starters will not do magic in a single day. You need to be consistent, make it a habit of asking engaging question to your teen every day, and start small. You cannot expect your teen to spend half an hour or 15 minutes with you, but since you ask him an engaging question on a day one. Even if he spends 2 minutes with you or 5 minutes with you on the day one, it's a big achievement for you, so celebrate it. And always stay curious in your teen's life. When your teen responds back with an answer for any of these questions, ask follow-up questions so that the conversation can stretch on. And don't start lecturing or giving him tips as to how to handle your teenager's life, because they are becoming more and more independent and they want to handle their lives on their own. So that's all from my end today. Remember, my dear friends, every conversation is a chance to connect. You don't need to have all the answers or you don't need to have solutions for all the problems which your teenagers face. Just show your teen that you care and you are there for them. They might not open up immediately, as I told you earlier, but your efforts, consistent efforts, will definitely give you the fruits. And if you really please do try any of these conversation starters, and I like to hear from you what went right and what went wrong. Share your stories with me on the social media or email me at mommystowmusings@gmail.com. And if you find this episode helpful, share it with another parent who could use a little extra help in connecting with their teen. Thank you for tuning into the Simplified Parenting with Emotionally Healthy Child podcast show. Until next time, keep those conversations flowing and those connections growing. Take care. Bye bye.